What's up everyone, I'm Arcade Out here with a messed up sleeping schedule because of the newly released Street Fighter 6. There are lots of things that I want to talk about, there are lots of good things that I want to say, but I'm mostly here to motivate you to start playing Street Fighter 6 because it is literally the best time to start playing it. There are lots of things that would help the newcomers to enjoy Street Fighter, motivate them to improve and learn more while also making the fundamental fighting mechanics deeper and challenging for veterans as well. Street Fighter 6 did not dumb down its mechanics, but actually quite the opposite. I felt that it widened the possibilities for combos with really likable characters in its current roster with a single play content called World Tour that can take more than 25 to 30 hours to complete each and every aspect of it. Street Fighter 6 is really enjoyable and probably one of the best of the series alongside with Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. If you are ready, here comes the greatest redemption of Street Fighter. Before talking about what Street Fighter 6 offers, I just want to say I'm really happy to have a new Third Strike like Street Fighter, to be honest. I'm happy with its stylish street graffiti art visuals, I'm happy with renewed character designs that brought life and attention to characters like DJ and Blanca, and of course having street battle just like we used to. We don't have flashy tournament battle transitions like we had in Street Fighter 5. On the contrary, the battles take place in the back streets of Metro City, or sometimes before the Eiffel Tower of Paris, sometimes in a secluded temple of Japan, and many more. There are 12 stages in general, and I guess there is not a single map that I don't like. There is not a single design choice that I despise, and because of that, I can't wait to see what Street Fighter 6 would offer us in the future, whether it be like a battle pass content or an event. I literally can't wait. Street Fighter 6 has likable characters with modernized moves that can lead to interesting and enjoyable playstyles with lots of, and I mean lots of Final Fight and previous Street Fighter references. And the single player mode World Tour lets you fight around with nearly every NPC around the globe, and especially in Metro City in the streets of arcade beat 'em up classic of Capcom. Nearly each and every character from the founding members like Ryu, Chun-Li, Guile and Ken, they have their familiar moves and combos together with either new moves or they are kinda merged with their previous versions from the Third Strike, Street Fighter 4 or 5. You can also create your own character and learn the special moves of the 18 characters of Street Fighter 6 roster by becoming their apprentice. Play the arcade to learn about the story or just, as usual, throw yourself to the ranked matches or the battle hub and literally fight from the players around the globe with cross-platform and a good netcode that literally lets me to play from Japan against my friends in Europe. Street Fighter 6 literally offers everything in its arsenal, and my only complaint might be about the soundtracks and the roster. I still believe and feel like Third Strike has the best soundtracks, and I wanted to have the first season DLC characters, namely Rashid, Ed, Aki and Akuma with the original roster, or maybe I'm just being too greedy, I don't know. But what I know for sure is that it's probably one of the strongest launches of Street Fighter series. We have satisfying, fun to play single player content with a multiplayer option that can welcome the newcomers and challenge the veterans. It is a great time to start playing Street Fighter as I said before, and I'm sure you will find a character that you would love and enjoy fighting game genre. Before talking about the art design, the visuals or the world tour, let me tell you about the new mechanics of Street Fighter 6 first. Street Fighter 6 has two control settings, one as classic that lets you to play the traditional Street Fighter experience with 3 different punch and kick moves, and the other one being modern lets you to do automatic combos and even easier special moves with easier inputs. You may probably wonder why would anyone play classic rather than modern, right? Well, if I were to talk about myself, I want to have the full control of the character I'm playing, and I felt that modern control just decide my playstyle for me. And besides that, to balance the damage output, modern control characters have like 20% lower special move damage output compared to classic controls. You can easily see players with modern and classic controls competing against each other in ranked or casual matches, and it just feels balanced for many characters. At least you won't feel discouraged like lots of Street Fighter players experienced before in previous titles like Street Fighter 4 or 5. If you're a newcomer, just pick the character you like and either pick the modern and classic controls, whatever you feel comfortable with. You can either hit the battle hubs to play against other players on arcade machines, or arcade mode for story content, character guides to learn the fundamentals, or just combo guides to learn the beginner, intermediate or advanced combos. As in fact, Street Fighter has never been this welcoming, and if you ever feel shy or just afraid of toxic fighting game communities, just join my clan and we'll help you out. Now let's talk about Street Fighter 6 and what makes it one of the best Street Fighter experiences. Besides newcomer welcoming controls, we also have a new game mechanic that can be seen below the health bar, consisting 6 boxes. You can use this stamina gauge to perform drive impact, drive parry or drive rush to add flavor to your gameplay style. Basically, if I were to explain these mechanics, drive impact can help you to push back your rival, break their defense, and as well as deal damage. To counter this drive impact, you can either approach your rival to grab them, deal consecutive attacks quickly, maybe something like overdrive Hadouken, or you can as well as do drive impact yourself before your opponent's drive impact hits you. It's a easy to use yet hard to master mechanic that also relies on your reflexes, and with drive impact you can quickly turn the tides of the battle, move on to your opponent for your next attack. Our next move, drive parry, is similar to Street Fighter 3 Third Strike's parry, but it is way more forgiving and easy to use. You literally press the parry button or just medium kick with medium punch at the same time to do it, and it lets you to recover some of your stamina gauge if you parry an attack successfully. However, its downside is your damage gets lowered when you do a special move or a super art right after you do a parry. And if you quickly tap twice towards your opponent with your parry move, you can as well as do a drive rush, which lets you to close the gap quickly with a quicker light, medium or a heavy kick, however you wish, so that you can continue your combos to deal more damage. Remember that these can only be used with the upper stamina gauge, and your character can get burnt out if you overuse this gauge, and even leaving you without your overdrive moves, or EX if you're a Street Fighter veteran. Right after the stamina gauge, we have our super art energy meter below the screen that can let you to do 3 different super arts, each with different levels that can lead to different outcomes. You can either perform 3 times the first level super art, or just keep your 3 level gauge for a critical art that can be done only if your health is around 20%. This critical art can deal around 40 to 50% damage to your rival for a good comeback. It is totally up to you how you use this super art or stamina gauge, and Street Fighter 6 does not push you to play in a single way like I felt in Street Fighter 5. You can just consume your stamina gauge for overdrive moves to deal heavy damage with characters like Ken, Luke, Marisa, Kami or DJ, or you can just use it for drive impact, parries, rush for longer combos for again Marisa, Juri, Chun-Li or Ryu. It is totally up to you, as I said, and I believe we're about to watch a really entertaining Evo this year with these implemented new mechanics. But next, we have our Dark Souls PvP mode, the World Tour. You can create your own character in World Tour, meet with the cast of Street Fighter 6, be friends with them, learn new moves from them, gift them items to increase their bonds to unlock alternative costumes, and enjoy this open world RPG like single player content. You basically start as an apprentice of Luke, travel across the globe, participate in tournaments, fight against the different NPCs, gather your gear, make your build, and then participate in Dark Souls PvP. The Avatar Battles. You can literally fight against other players' custom characters in Battle Hub as Avatar Battles. I mean, there are no ranked matches implemented right now, but just imagine the broken, absurd builds and people fighting against these monstrosities, and I hope Capcom prepares something like Avatar Battle Tournament or ranked battles for upcoming contents to keep the World Tour alive and interesting for players. But if you only want to unlock the alternative costumes for 18 characters, your whole progress might take between 25 to 30 hours, gathering enough money to purchase gifts to increase the bonds of each character. As a side note, in order to unlock Kami, Manon, Dalzim, Zangief and Juri, you need to do side quests in Metro City and later in Chapter 11 in Nashal. There are lots of references to Final Fight and previous Street Fighter titles, like you can see Retsu from the first Street Fighter hanging around the Metro City and then talking about how Ryu loves Japanese sweets, Or you can even see Thrasher Damned acting as the leader of Mad Gear, and you can even destroy gigantic trucks in Abigail's scrapyard. There are lots of nice details all around in World Tours to discover, so I would advise you to take a look at it if you're into Capcom's other titles as well. But as a Street Fighter fan, I also like to talk about its characters since I played nearly each one of them on online and practiced their combo guides around intermediate. And man, I'm having really difficulties to find my own main. Maybe I can help you to find yours. Ken feels stronger than ever, turned into a real aggressive rushdown character with really fun to do combos, and actually turned into something like a better version of Third Strike Ken we all enjoyed, while Ryu is more like a mix of Third Strike and Street Fighter V's versions, charging himself with Denjin to amplify his Hadouken and Hashugeki moves with electric, dealing more damage and as well as causing his rivals to get stunned for a while to continue his combos. And if you ever want to try newcomers like Luke, Jamie, Marisa, Manon, JP and Lily, they all have their own strengths, their own playstyles that would entertain and please you. But Street Fighter 6 divides its roster in 4 groups, namely Standard, Tricky, Power and Speed. Characters like Luke, Ryu, Lily and Guile are specified as Standard, meaning that they can both excel at close and mid-range and can change into defensive and aggressive depending on the situation. Tricky characters are Jamie, JP, DJ and Dalsim, and here JP and Dalsim present themselves as zoner characters of Street Fighter 6, meaning that they need to put a specific gap between the characters to be effective, and here Jamie and DJ are specified as tricky characters, I think due to their move list, as they have moves that hit low to overhead quite quickly to break their rivals' guards. Well, there's also Jamie's drunken breakdance kung fu battle style that gets even more dangerous depending on how much Jamie drinks between his combos, and DJ, this time he has feint attacks. He can step back to dodge incoming attacks and then combine it with different kick moves to surprise your rival. Newcomers like Manon and Marisa are categorized as power characters, along with Zangief, Ken and Edmund Honda. They hit hard, they need to be up close and personal, and especially their overdrive attacks can deal insane amount of damage if you're not careful. Especially with the launch version, Marisa is favorite of the many due to her broken damage with her hyper armor and parry special moves. Last but not least, we have speed characters, and Kimberly, Kami, Juri, Blanca and Chun-Li belong to this group. As indeed they need to be fast, and I believe these characters are one of the hardest to play in Street Fighter 6 right now. They really need accurate and fast inputs between their combos to deal high damage and to be effective, otherwise they can have hard time against Standard and especially against the power characters like Ken, Manon or Marisa. However, the most important thing is, all of these 18 characters are somewhat fun to play. They have their own strengths and weaknesses, but they're also fun to practice and learn. And as I mentioned before, if there is any character that you're interested in but feels hard to do any cool stuff with, just go with the modern controls and start learning from there. And I really hope that I somehow intrigued you to give Street Fighter 6 a chance. Starting with Resident Evil 7, Capcom's Arc of Redemption has turned into a journey of success with Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2 and 4 remakes, and at long last, we have the Street Fighter that everyone would love and enjoy in some way. I hope my video today gave you some insight or motivation to give it a try, or at least make you feel interested in some way. As I mentioned before, if you have nobody to play with, join my Street Fighter 6 clan, contact me and we can play together. I'm trying to prepare a Discord channel right now and I'm planning to announce it soon, meaning there will be Street Fighter tournaments for us to enjoy. As always, thank you for watching today's video. More will soon to come as I try to continue play this new Katamari and also Diablo 4 whenever I find time from work or from Street Fighter 6. I'm planning to do more Street Fighter 6 videos. Maybe I will do like in-depth character introduction videos to help newcomers, or maybe that would help Street Fighter fans as well. Stay tuned, practice your combos, and I will see you soon in the heart of the battle.
Roll to the top and I'm not looking back. Never backing down.